All right, gang, we back at it. Another Film Fridays. The Michael Penix Jr. video, definitely a success. Shout out to all the Atlanta Falcons fans tapping in with that one. Today, we're going to be talking about new Giants quarterback Jaxson Dart, selected 25th overall in the 2025 NFL Draft. The Giants actually traded up to go get him. Seems like Jaxson Dart is kind of getting a little bit of unnecessary hate, so kind of wanted to take some time out today to kind of go over a couple of things within his game on some All-22 that I think really shine on the tape. We're going to go over his mobility. We're going to go over how he operates from a clean pocket. And we're going to see if Jaxson Dart truly has an issue when he has pressure in his face. So let's get right into it. All right, so this first one, you're going to see a little bit of anticipation. They send the man in motion here. He runs a little 7 route. Outside guy's running a fly. The ball's right on him. Love the anticipation on this throw. And you'll see on the back end here, he's got pressure right in his face. If you look at it about right there, when he's making the throw, he's got a defender right in his face, and that does not affect the accuracy of the throw. Jaxson Dart delivers an absolute dart, pun intended here. Love this throw. All right, this next one here shows a good bit of velocity, and it also shows you a little bit of pocket manipulation from Jaxson Dart. And shout out to number 11 here. You can see it clear as day on the end zone camera. That's our future generational talent at edge rusher right there, Abdul Carter. You know, this was the game against Penn State in 2023 for Jaxson Dart. But just look at these subtle movements in the pocket. One of them's right here at the beginning, that little step. Lets go of the ball with a ton of velocity and a ton of accuracy as well. And I just want to show you all that little pocket manipulation that he shows right there. You know, just by doing this little step right here. That right there to give him a little bit more space, and then the ball is just, I mean, an absolute seed right there. It's a great throw by Jaxson Dart. Tight end gets his feet in bounds too. You got to give him his props on that one. All right, this next one here is going to show you a little bit of his capability to throw on the run. And Jaxson Dart really loves these outer angular routes, you know, the post corners towards the sidelines. Those are some of his favorite routes to throw, and he definitely showcases his arm talent when he is in a position to make those kind of throws. But check this one out right here. Nice little route by number 11 there. Good catch. The ball's right on him. And you can see that Jaxson Dart doesn't need to have his feet underneath of him to be able to make, you know, these high-level type of throws here. He can just wind it up and use his upper body strength to make the play. Nice throw right there. This one here is probably one of my favorite Jaxson Dart throws on all of his tape, at least within the past 2 seasons here. You're going to see at the bottom of the screen, again, this is the game versus Penn State in 2023. Abdul Carter at the bottom of the screen there. Jaxson Dart gets him to jump off sides along with 2 other teammates there, and he just drops a straight-up heater across the middle to his tight end. And these are the type of throws that, again, they showcase his ability to make those NFL throws. You know, this reminds me of Eli to Kevin Boss back in the day. And look at that throw there. Jaxson Dart showing you that he can make all those Sunday type of throws. This next throw might be overlooked by some people, thinking like, okay, this is just a typical out route. But in college, you got to understand that the hash marks are much closer than they are in the NFL. So when you got to make these throws to the field side, these are definitely difficult throws. And you'll see when Jaxson Dart drops back here, he's going to drop this right in his tight end's lap. You're talking about a 17-yard throw, not from the line of scrimmage, but this is definitely a difficult throw. Another one showcasing that he can make all those throws on Sundays. And you got to appreciate the effort, too, by the tight end. Once he does make that catch there, finds a way to pick up some extra yards. But if that's off target, easy pick 6 right there. This next one is really where the Jalen Hurts comp comes in for me. You know, when you look at the way that Jalen Hurts plays the game on Sundays, his chemistry and his connection with A.J. Brown on the outside for these fade routes like this, you know, you got to be very accurate when throwing the ball down the field, and you can see that Jaxson Dart can make these type of throws. You'll see it from the end zone cam here, which they don't get as wide on this shot, but I think you can see it there in the corner. Yeah, I mean, just an absolute dart. Look at this throw. Let's rewind it back and just look at the ball placement. We'll take a look at that in slow-mo right there. I'll do it frame by frame for you. I mean, just look at where that ball is landing right there. You know, these are the kind of plays where the defender feels like he did everything he possibly could to try to stop the receiver, but the accuracy from the quarterback doesn't allow that defensive back to be able to make a play. Another fantastic throw from Jaxson Dart. All right, here's another one here. You got a wide receiver at the bottom of the screen, going to do an inside release. Tight end comes off of that with the wheel route. Jaxson Dart recognizes it early, puts the ball right on him. You know, no lollipopping, none of that. No waiting for the ball to come down. He's just putting the ball right on his receivers so that they can catch the ball and go and get that necessary yak. I mean, this one was just a super easy touchdown here. All right, now this next one I think is actually something that Jalen Hurts could, you know, work on a little bit within his game. is placing the back shoulder fade a little bit more accurate, giving your receiver a chance to win these one-on-ones in a variety of ways. And this ball from Jaxson Dart here is just great placement. I think could have been a little bit placed a little bit more towards the sideline so that his wide receiver could open up just a little bit, to our left here on camera. But nonetheless, I mean, just a really great catch and, giving your wide receiver that opportunity to be able to make the catch, most importantly. I mean, look at that placement there. Like I said, I preferred a little bit more towards the sideline so that the wide receiver's opening up towards the sideline rather than towards the defender. But, still a really good throw, very catchable pass. And Trey Harris showing you why, he was another guy drafted in the NFL as well. All right, this one here is just another one showing the back shoulder fade accuracy. This throw's a lot better than the last one to me. Both still very catchable balls, but you're seeing Trey Harris, put on a display. Definitely one of the better wide receivers taken in the 2025 NFL draft. But just take a look at this accuracy here, and you'll see that when he catches it there, he doesn't have to open up towards the defender, and I do think that that's very important there. And I'll show you the accuracy here, just frame by frame. Notice that his body is not opening up towards the defender there. That's where you want that ball to be. And then Trey gets the left foot down, NFL catch. Kind of looks like it. Another nice throw from Jaxson Dart. All right, now let's talk about Jaxson Dart under pressure a little bit here. I've been seeing a lot of people scrutinize his game, saying that when he has pressure in his face, he's not the same quarterback. But this one right here really showcases what Jaxson Dart can do and the capabilities that he has from the pocket when he is facing pressure. Just a beautiful throw with a man in his face right here. I'm going to pause it right here. You can see the pressure is right up on him. And it almost looks like he's throwing it right at that guy at the bottom of the screen, number 15. And just look at how he layers this throw over the defender and puts it right near the sideline. It is an incredible catch by his tight end, but, I mean, good God, look at that. Let's rewind that just a little bit here and show y'all that, in its full motion here. And this way you can kind of gauge this throw yourself. But, I mean, this is just an absolute dart right here. And when you see it from the end zone camera, you'll see the amazing catch by the tight end. 86 made plays on Jaxson Dart's tape, just game in and game out. But I love that right there. And then look at the ball placement, man. Snagged it. And what I loved about this, too, is I think 86 gets both feet down, man. This is a real next level type of catch and throw here. But you can see I'd give him possession right there. Right foot's coming down, left foot coming down. He's just securing the ball there. Another great pass, another great catch as well. All right, this next one here, you'll see at the top of the screen there, number 11, that's Abdul Carter. He's going to bring some pressure off the edge there, getting Jaxson Dart's face. And it's still kind of crazy that both of these guys are on our team, man. This was a hell of a game from 2023 here. But you'll see Jaxson Dart does not flinch. And I think that this one really showcases what Lane Kiffin's offense, the capabilities and the benefits that it leans towards a quarterback like Jaxson Dart, or any quarterback for that matter, because Jaxson Dart knows where he's going with the football right away. There's no hesitation. Let's go of the ball. It delivers it accurate enough for his wide receiver to be able to make the play, and more importantly, not take a big shot, because there are some throws on Jaxson Dart's tape where he does put his receiver in harm's way. This is not one of them. All right, this next throw really makes me want to revisit the past a little bit here, because all too often with Daniel Jones at the quarterback position with the Giants, we were seeing wide receivers, on these little shorter concepts, not being able to catch the ball in stride and be able to go and just get the necessary yards after the catch that they could get if the ball was right on them. With pressure in his face here, Jaxson Dart delivers an absolute dot. Trey Harris catches this one, and he just goes. And what could have been about a 5-yard gain if, somebody ends up making the tackle, turns into a huge explosive play here for Jaxson Dart and for Trey Harris. So gotta love the accuracy, gotta love the anticipation on this one, and just being fearless in that pocket. There's a lot of bodies coming at him here, and he does not flinch. He takes a pretty decent shot there, doesn't get knocked to the ground, but more importantly, Trey Harris is able to catch that ball and turn this into a huge chunk. And for this next one, I just couldn't help myself. I mean, Jaxson Dart throws a beautiful back shoulder fade, so I had to just add another one to the compilation here. And he takes a shot there, too, showing you that he can make that same throw under pressure. This one here is going to show you his ability to get the ball to his running back quickly. A lot of pressure in his face. The play kind of breaks down here. Again, Lane Kiffin's offense. Jaxson Dart understands where to go with the football. A lot of this is pre-snap, and you'll see him identifying things here as we get to the end zone cam. He knows where the blitz is coming. He knows exactly where he's going with the ball, and some of these things are going to have to change as you get to the pro level, but regardless, great throw by Jaxson Dart there for the touchdown. That's Quinshon Judkins playing the running back position as well. And here's another one close to the goal line. I believe they were going for a 2-point conversion here. And Jaxson Dart showing you his ability to see the field and direct his wide receivers where to go so that he can make a play, because this play looks like it's going to break down. You'll see here from the end zone camera when he rolls out to his right how he tells his tight end, to go the opposite direction so that they can make a play right there. Let me just bring that back for you so you can really see it. Go slow-mo here. Right there, he points for him to go. Tight end goes. 86 just making plays all over Dart's tape. And, they tell you not to throw across your body, but he got away with it there. Another score for Ole Miss. Something that I really think will translate for Jaxson Dart is his mobility and his ability to run the ball. Brian Daboll had a lot of success with Daniel Jones in 2022, running a lot of RPOs, running a lot of read option, a lot of quarterback design runs, QB power, and things of that nature. And you'll see here that Jaxson Dart is definitely a fearless runner who has a ton of mobility that should translate to the NFL. He's reading that left defensive end there. He sees that he crashes down a little bit on the run, and he immediately takes off. And having that capability to run between the tackles like that from the quarterback position just opens up the capabilities of what Brian Daboll and Mike Kafka can do with him in this offense. You'll see it here from the end zone cam, just completely fearless between the tackles there, gets the necessary yards, and then gets down. There's a lot of tape on Jaxson Dart where he doesn't slide, and this is not one of those instances. Here goes another, situation where he has to show off his mobility. I think this is probably his best run on his tape. You're not going to see quarterbacks doing this type of stuff. And that's probably something that won't happen in the NFL. But at least Jaxson Dart is showing you that he has the ability to be able to do these type of things from an agility standpoint. There's maybe 5 quarterbacks in the NFL that can make this kind of play right here. I mean, like, just look at that hurdle, and that's not somebody that's not athletic. That's a safety right there that Jaxson Dart's attacking, and he just straight up hurdles this guy when he puts his head down. You got to tackle better than that, man. They teaching us better. You can't be lowering your head like that and not wrapping up. But solid run by Jaxson Dart. And this last one here, another one against Penn State, just showing the mobility. I love this little cutback he does right there. Not many quarterbacks got this kind of vision within the pocket, man, to just kind of break the ankles of the defender there. He could have just went outside and took what was there, but he's probably facing that defender on the outside right there by the numbers. He cuts that back on number 1, gets about an extra 10 yards almost, finds a way to slide down there. Took a little bit of a hit, but as you can see, he was unfazed. I mean, Jaxson Dart is an extremely tough runner. And he can lower his shoulder and lower the boom for sure. These are the kind of things that he's going to have to find balance with in the NFL, because you don't want to take no big shots like that and get knocked out of a game. All right, so there you have it. Jaxson Dart showcasing his ability here. I definitely think that he is a project quarterback like all of the quarterbacks in the 2025 NFL class. I had him as quarterback 2 going into the draft. I thought that his velocity put him above guys like Shedeur Sanders and some of the other guys like Will Howard. I think that Brian Daboll has a lot to work with here, and Jaxson Dart is in an ideal situation. He's able to sit behind Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston for at least a year before he's ready to play. And this way, Brian Daboll and the New York Giants should be able to develop his skill set and have him prepared and ready to go once it is time for him to take over the keys and be the franchise quarterback for the New York Giants.